here's your regular SquarePants wearing SpongeBob on his way to work. Now here's glowed up SpongeBob looking and sounding like he slid straight out of the covers of GQ.
Hey, cool crowd.
Someone turn on the heat in here? Now, as usual, I had nothing better to do with my time, so I went through every single transformation in the entire 16 seasons of SpongeBob to answer the question that nobody asked: which SpongeBob character had the best glow up? So buckle up your frackin' seatbelts, citizens of Bikini Bottom. We're gonna be judging based on how good they look, how big the transformation is. Starting our scorecards out with Karen Plankton.
All my life.
Karen is one character who's had a constant glow-up arc since like day one. I mean, back in the day, she was just a wall-mounted supercomputer.
Plankton, 1% evil, 99% hot gas.
Then there was that very brief scene in Sleepy Time where people swear Karen was in desktop form. It's not exactly canonically coded, but it makes absolute sense that the computer on Plankton's desk is Karen because, I mean, who else would it be? His side computer? Let's be serious. Then, of course, we have the mobile form that debuted in Friend or Foe.
You're both liars. That's not how it happened at all.
As you can see, even at this point, Karen's come a long way. Her voice is more human, she has agency, personality, the ability to roast Plankton on demand.
What's hollow, full of lies, and leaves a bad taste in your mouth?
Our marriage.
So hers was a steady glow up throughout the series, but peak Karen? She shows up in Tango Tangle.
Happy birthday on...
This has been the best birthday I've ever had.
So it's Karen's birthday, and Plankton is pulling out all the stops, including physically altering his own body. Now that's devotion, or desperation, probably both. You see, Plankton's birthday present for Karen is a tango dance class, but the last time they did that, let's just say it did not go well. So this time, Plankton's making sure nothing stands in the way of his plans. Fellas, take notes, because this is how you husband.
Love the new stems, Plankton.
Now, I need you to take a second and appreciate the absolute beauty that is Karen in a dress. That is an absolutely stunning fit. I mean, waist wear. Like, who needs that anyway? Look at how the dress flows effortlessly with her on the dance floor. The pearl choker, flawless with a peak dress. Spectacular look, and honestly, criminal that we don't see it more.
This makes up for a lot of your stupidity lately, Plankton.
Anyway, that brings us to Bikini Bottom's long-suffering driving instructor, Mrs. Penelope Puff.
What do you do next?
Floor it.
No, don't floor it.
Floor it.
Honestly, this woman got the patience of a saint. I would not have been able to handle SpongeBob if I were his teacher. Anyway, Mrs. Puff does not have many glammed up appearances, maybe because she's still depressed after you know what.
Then what happened to Mr. Puff?
Poor lassie. I mean, between that and being SpongeBob's teacher, you can kind of understand why she's not much for fancy outings, but she did get glammed up a couple times. We're gonna zero in, though, on two huge ones. First, here she is on a date with Mr. Krabs. More on that later.
The coral was cooked to perfection.
As you can see, she's in her regular sailor's outfit, which feels kind of weird since Krabs is all dressed up. So it's either that she's still feeling out if Krabs worth the effort, or Homegirl just didn't actually own a black dress. I think it's the second option. At least at that point, because up until later seasons, I've never saw her in anything else except here.
Happy Halloween, scaredy pants.
Again, saint of a woman, because it should be perfectly justifiable and even proper to squeeze that miserly crustacean of every cent he owns. But I digress. This ain't about Krabs, it's about Mrs. Puff, who saved her actual glow up for a casual park stroll and is eating up that overcoat and hat. Okay, wait. The color combo here might actually be a bit too chaotic for me. I mean, purple coat, lilac fur, green sun hat with a purple feather, blonde hair, red and blue sailor suit. You got a lot going on. So maybe not the best of looks, but all in all, still a serve. Her next glow up, though, takes things up several notches. It just happens to take place in a SpongeBob episode.
This restaurant is so fancy. Even the silverware's made of velvet. Ooh.
Like the last time, Mrs. Puff is on a date with Krabs, and it's either she really was just feeling out Krabs before, or she somehow got that chronic penny pincher to actually open up his wallet. Character development W for both of them.
And the sweet and sour algae.
Either way, this look is pure fire. Red dress is stunning, absolutely adore the clam earrings, even though she goes feral and swallows SpongeBob whole later in the episode. Yeah, that happened, but we're not gonna let one little act of cartoon violence ruin this serve. This remains one of my favorite Mrs. Puff looks, which I love so much. Next up is Bikini Bottom's girl boss with the freakishly large mind, Sandy Cheeks.
I can hardly believe that there's a lost city where
Now you may think Sandy doesn't have a lot of glow-up moments, and well, you'd be right for obvious reasons.
I'll show y'all. I don't need this suit.
Right, so she doesn't have the luxury of costume changes. Kinda hard to do that whenever yanking your helmet is a flirt with asphyxiation. Still, Sandy managed to serve us her own version of a glow-up in the episode Rodeo Days. In this episode, she has to return back to Texas to defend her rodeo championship title, but before she leaves, she puts on something nice and sings us a little song, and she doesn't look bad at all.
Boots with spurs that jingle jangle. That's a rodeo.
The hat, the cowboy boots, or the gold stripes and spurs, the fancy gold-studded jacket, and then the nice redneck scarf to literally tie the outfit together. Absolutely chef's kiss of a design. But Sandy's other look? That one goes really hard.
And misappear! Now you see her.
This look is so top tier, and I genuinely don't know why it's so underrated, because it kills. The color scheme works perfectly for her, the gold belt's fantastic, and that schmolder is given every single thing it needs to give. I do wish we saw Sandy dress up more. I mean, beyond your typical purple bikini and tutu situation, because my girl's got it. Which brings us to our next character, and this guy is such a cheapskate, feels like he shouldn't have a glow up, but he somehow does. I already know who I'm talking about, Eugene Harold Krabs.
Money, this money, that.
You know, everyone says they love money until it's time to get married and they choose someone else. Not Eugene Krabs, though. In the immortal words of my girl Beyonce, he liked it, so he put a ring on it. Mad respect, man, both for marrying actual cash and for looking good while doing it. Now, here's how that went down.
The way to get the Krabby Patty formula was so obvious. Trading several dozen sea bears to take over your restaurant and force you to give it up.
Once again, Plankton has tried and failed to steal the Krabby Patty secret formula, but then during the classic hero-villain post-destruction chat, Plankton, and all of us actually, make a realization we'd all known in our hearts, but we're too afraid to say out loud.
Well, if you love money so much, why don't you marry it?
If I could, I would.
Of course, this gives Plankton an idea, and if you've ever watched even like 2 Plankton episodes, then you should be able to guess what happens next.
Oh, careful now, careful.
Okay, this one's on you, Krabs. Plankton literally got all bug-eyed and would you now when you told him you'd marry money if you could. And you didn't think it was a tiny bit too sus that a gorgeous cash lady you've never seen before in Bikini Bottom suddenly and conveniently shows up at your restaurant? My brother, come on. We've all fallen for it at least once. You know what? It's your funeral. You do you.
The name's Krabs. And yours?
Kashina.
Would you make this old Krabs Day and allow me to take you to a place where you could buy me dinner?
She has to buy you dinner? I mean, it's not great the Plankton's trying to steal your secret formula, but you're not exactly making it easy for us to root for you, Eugene Tight Fists.
Furs, lips.
Wow!
Kashina doesn't seem to mind anyway, so I guess I should stop taking aspirin for someone else's headache. Plus, their date goes so well, Krabs ready for Kashina to meet his daughter.
I may have found you a new mom.
No way! I have seen stepmoms in movies, Dad, and that you won't let me go to the ball! And then I'll never meet my Prince Charming!
Slow down, honey. Prince Charming's for fairy tales. Plus, we've seen your idea of Prince Charming, and he was the human embodiment of mid, so trust me, if Kashina keeps you from meeting that guy, she's doing everyone a huge favor. You're lucky, though, because Kashina's actually kind of cool.
And I was all, you call this a mugging? And then I suplexed him until he gave me my purse back.
Anyway, now that Kashina and Pearl are besties, Krabs ready for the next big step.
Will you marry me, Kashina?
Yes.
And so is Plankton.
When we're married, you'll have to tell me the secret formula.
Obviously, for his big wedding, Krabs makes sure to cheap out as much as humanly or crably possible.
SpongeBob, you're gonna be me wedding planner. Great, here's your budget.
I'm gonna stretch this dollar until it begs for mercy. No disrespect to your new bride.
Okay, I can't possibly be the only one that found that. I mean, anyone else hear that too? Just me? Cool. Maybe I just need a cold shower. Anyway, when it comes to drip, though, Krabs holds nothing back. Look at how much he's just slaying.
You came into my life when I thought I'd live the rest of it alone.
The purple tux works. I gotta respect the 2 hats, one for each eye, by the way. Krabs might be stingy with money, but not when it comes to serving looks, I guess. Of course, in the end, he discovers it was Plankton all along, right as he's about to reveal the secret formula.
Krabs, let it all out!
But honestly, Krabs looks awesome, and I think he deserves major credit for this look. Actually, wait, no, he was way too dumb in this episode. Plankton's plan was literally see-through, and he was still dumb enough to fall for it.
Kashina may not have been real, but me feelings were.
Get a hold of yourself, Krabs.
Oh, come on, man, get a grip. But this shameless simping is definitely not glow-up material. Points off for that. And now to Krabs' best glow-up yet, which happens in Krusty Love.
Oh, nothing in all the 7 seas could matter more.
This is one of my favorite Krabs-centric episodes because we get to see a rare, sweet, humanized Krabs. When the episode kicks off, Krabs is complaining about money per usual, but then he sets his eyes on Mrs. Puff, and let's just say I never believed a non-greenback could ever make Krabs act like this.
Mrs. Puff, I'd like to introduce you to my boss, Mr. Krabs.
Krabs goes full prehistoric caveman with 0 language skills while SpongeBob translates for Mrs. Puff, and by the end of the very confusing interaction,
He wants to take you on a date.
You have a way with words, Mr. Krabs.
sure you do, buddy. Ready to meet glowed up Krabs?
Breath spray.
Check.
Lucky hanky.
Check.
Giant rusty anchor.
Anchor.
I don't know if purple is Krabs' favorite color or something because he wears the exact same shade for his wedding to Kashina 7 seasons later. Yes, while he's still canonically dating Mrs. Puff, by the way. So either the writers forgot or Krabs is just a frackin' hound. I'm voting hound because Puff was definitely not cheering at the wedding. Oh yeah, she was at the wedding. And no, they weren't on a break. If you got that reference, please don't make fun of me in the comments. All right, let's jump back to the present where Krabs is still in my good books, kinda.
You're spoiling me, Mr. Krabs. Imported music, foot rubs between courses, caricatures.
This here is why Krabs steps a notch higher than Plankton on the glow-up meter. Plankton's transformation was definitely huge, but Krabs was a frackin' evolution from penny pinching cheapskate to fancy splurgy big spender.
Sir, your fancy pantsy limousine is here.
Wonderful. Puffly Poo, your chariot awaits.
Well,
I mean, dog, are you seeing this? Krabs is spending money. Miracles don't get bigger than this. Of course, once he realizes that his dinner vaganza for Mrs. Puff cost him $100 grand, he thinks up a new way to stop himself from spending money. Except it doesn't work. And that's what makes glowed up Krabs deserving of a good score in my books. You can see his affection for Mrs. Puff actually creates a tension with his love for money. If only love wins worked here, but I don't think love could cure him of his stinginess in any universe. So when you consider how good he looks, how big the transformation is, and what it gets him, in this case, the girl, I think this might be Krabs' biggest glow up ever. Our next bikini bottomite needs no introduction. I'm talking about Sheldon J. Plankton. Hooray!
What a brilliant idea!
Anyway, Plankton has had some seriously underrated glow-ups in the series. We already saw that time when he stretched out his legs so he and Carrot could go tango dancing for her birthday.
Terrific tangoing, Planktons.
Hey, say what you want about Plankton, but the guy's got moves for days. Then there was his alter ego, Ray Ray.
For you, my love.
Ray Ray was definitely up there for me. I mean, look at that hair, the confidence, the swagger. I think Plankton deserves like a medal or something for this glow up. Not even gonna lie, he cooked. From his fit to his tood, everything was giving. Big ups to Plankton. But if I'm crowning Plankton's most epic glow up, there's only one clear winner. Now, fair warning, SpongeBob purists might grumble a bit because it's from one of the later seasons, but prejudice aside, Plankton's most insane glow up is without a doubt King Plankton.
I roll you, I roll you, I roll you.
Alright, so the episode starts off with SpongeBob dropping off his aquarium of sea monkeys over at the chum bucket so Karen can watch them. Textbook SpongeBob behavior, nothing to see here. But then Plankton comes home and discovers them, and you can probably guess where his mind went.
Maybe I've been going about this world conquest thing all wrong. Maybe I should start small and work my way up.
So he shrinks himself with a shrink belt because obviously he just happens to have one of those things lying around. Then he airdrops himself into the world of the sea monkeys. And does he look around? Does he try to explore or make friends? Or maybe even learn their culture? Nah.
I'm taking over your monkey town, see? Do you little cretins have a king?
I am the king.
Yeah? Well, now I'm the king.
Okay, so that one's a wackadoodle. Maybe not such a bad idea that Plankton stole his crown. Except we all know Plankton goes ahead to royally screw everything up because of course he does.
That's right. Bring me all your valuables. What are those dentures? Hand them over.
Come on, those are someone else's dentures, man. That's fracking disgusting. Not exactly helping my glow-up argument, Sheldon. You know what? Let's just breeze past that. Moving on. Okay, now we're talking. You gotta admit, a couple of those portraits on the wall were ice cold. I mean, very Napoleon Bonaparte, am I right? The kingly robes, the scepter, the crown. Plankton's living his best authoritarian life.
You guys are idiots. I'm the smart one. I've got the best ideas.
As far as I'm concerned, no Plankton glow-up even comes close to this one because here, he's like the ultimate triple threat. He's got the looks, the money, the power. King Plankton's peak Plankton. But can I say something real quick before we move on to the next character with an even more insane glow-up? For someone with a college degree, yes, Plankton went to college, isn't it kind of weird he walks around buck naked all day? Dude can build himself a computer wife but can't get himself some frackin' slacks? Almost feels like any episode where he's wearing clothes at all should count as a glow-up, but obviously some outfits are better than others. I mean, this, for instance,
Hello, boys.
is obviously a whole lot better than this.
But my delicate digestive system has special needs.
Come on, Sheldon. Spectacles on one eye, couldn't spring for a monocle. But to each Plankton his own, I guess. Here, looks immaculate, transformation epic, dude ran an entire frackin' kingdom. Does go on to screw it up in the end and gets what's coming for him.
I demand you obey your king!
But when it comes to glowing up, Plankton cooked, served, and ate. Our next character has some pretty big shoes to fill. Shoes she created for herself, actually. I'm talking about Pearl Krabs.
You get your very own spotlight tonight.
Now, before you at me in the comments, no, the pageant queen look is not one of the glow-ups we're considering today because that was just Pearl being Delulu. I know. It was very fashionable, though. I might just give it a bonus point at the end of the day if I'm feeling generous. But as I said, Pearl has some pretty big shoes to fill because her normal look is already very iconic. Those white go-go boots. Certainly a fashion statement. However, in a couple of episodes, she really does turn it up and serves up some premium drip.
Oh, Dad, you're embarrassing me again.
Now, I know she's wearing a costume in this episode, but honestly, it's still a serve. The Bride of Frankenstein is such a classic Halloween look, and since she has gray skin, it blends in perfectly. It just works. But the first real glow-up I want to talk about comes from another classic fandom favorite, the chaperone.
What's wrong with Pearl?
Her scurvy prom date stood her up.
As usual, Pearl is upset about something, and this time it's because her date stood her up, and she can't find another one before the dance. But apparently, it's not just that.
Because there's only one fish in the sea as long, tan, and handsome as he is.
When I was a wee lad, I wanted to grow up to be like long, tan, and handsome right here. But anyway, Krabs tries to give Pearl a replacement date, but honestly, I don't know how he could possibly beat Mr. Handsome over there.
Here, take SpongeBob.
Cook.
Of course, Pearl grumbles for a bit before accepting her fate as the weird girl who brought her father's weird employee as her date to prom. There's just one problem.
Oh, Gary, I'm a prom failure. I couldn't even get a date for my own junior prom.
SpongeBob, my guy, you were literally ranked top 3 on a YouTube glow-up list by some rando on the internet who spends way too much time analyzing cartoons. So when I tell you you got this, you got this. Okay, the boutonniere planning actually sent me. But SpongeBob is ready for prom, and so is Pearl.
We gotta get back to the limo.
A limo!
Pretty pink dress plus a limo prom ride. Total serve. She could have swapped out the go-go boots for some kitten heels since it's prom, but you know what? Oh no, not a bad look. Good job, Pearl. Now, Pearl's next glow-up is, in my opinion, her best one. Unfortunately, it's from an episode I absolutely despise. From the very bottom of my frackin' feet. And at the risk of having rotten Krabby Patties thrown at me, it's Barnacle Face.
There is a hideous barnacle growing out of the side of your face.
Yeah, I hate this episode too. And not just Barnacle Face, but its cursed sister episode as well. What was it called again? Pet Sitter Pat? Pretty sure I've only mentioned that one episode like a singular other time throughout this entire channel's history for a very good reason. Nothing much to talk about except my enormous hatred. Anyway, Pearl's got a case of the barnacles in this episode, which means she won't be able to go to the school dance, which obviously means the world is ending and we should all throw ourselves into a panic. Pearl and SpongeBob trying to get rid of the barnacles, but things don't go exactly according to plan.
I gotta go scrub my face down with soap and water.
Okay.
We all know what happened next, no need to relive the trauma. And of course, while Pearl is in crisis mode, battling her hideous face, Krabs steps up as a frackin' dad of the year.
No expensive trips to the spa. I've got some important matters to take care of.
Just one more reason this episode is a war crime. You know what? Let's just skip to the end before I lose it.
And get ready to sparkle. 3. Ta-da!
Welcome to the only redeeming aspect of this entire episode. It also happens to be Pearl's biggest glow up, in my opinion.
Wow! Girl, you look amazing.
And this one is massive in my books because it doesn't just save Pearl, it saves the entire episode from being completely, no, it's still completely unwatchable. Krabs gets what's coming for him, and Pearl turns her anxiety into a superpower with the help of our beloved Sponge, and she looks incredible doing it. That is a glow up. But yeah, this one isn't just like, you know, like the vibes improved, but like the whole character development, it was just like on another level. Yay, Pearl, but maybe try not to bounce us out of planet Earth while we're cheering you on. So we done Sandy, Mrs. Puff, Plankton, Krabs, Pearl. Guess the glow up police will have you now, Patrick Star. Yes, Patrick. When we talk of glow-ups for Bikini Bottom's resident star, nerds like me know there are only 2 can't-miss peak episodes. But before we get to them, there is one iconic Patrick glow-up look that would get me guillotined if I skipped it.
Hey, SpongeBob, don't start without me!
Yep, this gem comes from the legendary Home Sweet Pineapple episode. Not gonna lie, there's something adorable about this whole get-up. The coat, bow tie, top hat, absolutely no shirt, because why would there be? It's not really a glow-up, but fans go absolutely feral over this look, so I'm including this here as an honorable mention before the fandom comes for me in the comments. Now, if you want to see a real Patrick glow-up, I know where your mind's going, and we'll get to that. But first, we're going to the episode Squidward School for Grown-Ups. As usual, SpongeBob and Patrick are up to no good, and Squiddy's had about enough of it, so he tells them that they need to grow up. And of course, the Dum-Dums think that this is another game until...
No! What's the big idea?
Guess it's time for you to finally grow up, Patrick. And who else to lead you on in the path of all things grown-uppy than Sensei Squiddy himself?
We'll need to start with personal grooming for your grown-up makeover.
Gotta say, Squidward might be a sanctimonious pain in the butt, but when it comes to this makeover, he overstood the assignment. Patrick looks, dare I say, not bad.
May I take your hat and cane, sir?
Why, certainly.
Enjoy your evening, gentlemen.
Fancy tailcoat with the gold brooch, the impeccable white shirt, the black dress pants, the purple stripe by the side, the top hat, the silver cane. I got an outfit exactly like that in my dreams. And that glorious beard! Patrick looks like the Duke from some faraway kingdom that minds its own fracking business but has a stupid amount of money anyway. Overall, for this glow-up, Patrick eats the house down. Obviously, except for the fact that he's barefoot, plus the beard turned out to be a hibernating sea urchin, so...
How's a sea urchin supposed to get any sleep with all these salty tears falling on him?
The next glow-up, though, ho ho la la, it's the one you've been waiting for. That's no lady. It's the name of the episode, by the way. I wasn't just saying that. The episode starts off with these 2 lovable bozos hatching a plan to keep Patrick from the man with the briefcase who supposedly ordered him out of town. No, he didn't.
But what if you weren't Patrick Star?
Oh no, I'm not Patrick Star!
Keep up, Pat. Okay, I don't know who taught Patrick to smolder like that, but holy guacamole, this is what we mean by a glow-up. The kind of transformation that almost feels spiritual. I can't even fucking talk right. It's
Patricia.
Oh, what was that laugh? I guess a glam sesh can't fix everything. Does bring the boys to the yard, though. First, Mr. Krabs. Believe it or not, even Squidward.
Who are you, my Rubenesque beauty?
The rest of the episode sees Krabs and Squidward getting increasingly cringe, trying to win Patricia's affections.
Are you sure about Saturday night?
How about Sunday brunch?
Well, the whole thing pushes Patty to the breaking point. He decides to reveal himself, but then the man with the briefcase comes back, and Patrick finally learns he was just marketing his getaway resort. The look on Krabs and Squiddy's faces when they realize the woman they've just been simping for is Patrick is pure gold.
I think I need to take a shower.
So let me get this straight. You're not a woman? No.
Tallying up for Lady Patricia looks like transformation there, except for that laugh, like S-tier glow-up territory. This brings us to number 2 in our list of best glow-ups in Bikini Bottom, and it's none other than the beloved Sponge Robert Squarest Pantsus.
Why, next thing you know, people are gonna start doing stuff like holding doors open for...
Look, choosing SpongeBob's best glow-ups is hard work. Was was hard work. I mean, it kind of still is. I'm not super confident in these. Well, I mean, I am. It's just like there's a lot of... This guy has more costume changes than a Beyonce concert, okay? For example, this epic scene that's now an endless source of amazing memes.
Oh my, this purse is so big and heavy.
The almost monochrome purple color from head to toe, that bustin' lip gloss, the mascara that's popping. Then we had this total fan favorite where we get to see SpongeBob go from sponge cake to beefcake.
Ow.
Hi, guys.
SpongeBob.
Okay, the extra hands on the muscles were a smidge too much, dude, but this was a beloved look, and the only reason it's not on the glow-up meter is obvious. Those weren't real gains. Sorry, King. That said, this lesser-known Elton John look was really good, too.
Hey, cool glasses.
Obviously, there are a ton of episodes where SpongeBob's all dressed up, from his date with that disgusting Krabby Patty, to the Le Big Switch episode, to his date with Pearl, which we already covered. I could go on and on, but we'd be here all day. Plus, there are still far hotter serves than SpongeBob waiting for us. So without further ado, let's meet SpongeBob's 3 glow-ups that cemented his #2 spot. From hot to hottest, we got cool SpongeBob, bougie SpongeBob, and iconic SpongeBob.
You gotta be kidding me.
We begin with cool SpongeBob from Mind the Gap. As you know, SpongeBob's full-time job is ruining Squidward's day. And business, it's always booming, because you know your boy never takes a day off from that job. This time, though, Squiddy has a plan to fix his SpongeBob problem.
I'm just very concerned about your health. If you really want to know, it's the gap between your teeth.
Naturally, SpongeBob has a full frackin' meltdown after learning about his hideous gap, which he doesn't realize was never a problem to his health up until Squidward mentioned it. I know Squidward's a royal pain, but sometimes you make it too easy for him, Spongy. Anyway, Squidward finally convinces SpongeBob to let him fix his gap. But then... consequences?
Well, thank you, Dr. Squidward.
At first, Squidward's pissed, but then he realizes that this might actually work in his favor. You know, some of that coolness could rub off on him or something. A fair ask, considering he literally Frankensteined Cool Bob.
How would you like to accompany me to my jazz club tonight?
Of course, when it's showtime, SpongeBob shows up fashionably late like all cool people do, so Squiddy arrives alone to a welcome that's colder than frackin' Alaska. SpongeBob, however...
Hey, cool crowd. What's shaking?
Okay. You know how they say go big or go home? Yeah, that rule was invented after the SpongeBob glow-up, the perm, the shades, that voice drop. Take notes, guys, because this is the standard. SpongeBob obviously knows he's killing it, and homeboy just made that fish melt, but he also looks like he's not even trying. Effortless cool is the hardest thing to pull off, and man's doing it in his sleep. That level of mastery, elite. Come take your entire garden, SpongeBob. Alright, our next SpongeBob glow-up is bougie SpongeBob from Porous Pockets. Starts off as SpongeBob and Patrick playing through jellyfish fields when they stumble upon something rather interesting.
Clam is choking. Luckily, I come prepared.
SpongeBob, what are you doing?
Now, anyone with functioning eyeballs knows they're holding a massive priceless pearl, but these two lovable bozos with a combined IQ of maybe 3 think this is a clam baby, then a volleyball. So naturally, they take it to the volleyball pitch where they meet an interesting man.
Couldn't help noticing what a lovely ball that is. In exchange, a small fortune for your shiny ball.
What do you mean?
Hello? Yes, is this the rich lizard Illuminati people? Yeah, SpongeBob and Patrick will be joining you now. My boys are frackin' rich! Or they'll sit on your wallet, you'd be like 6 feet higher. Gotta hand it to the jewel dealer, though. He actually paid them fairly. Didn't even try to scam the two dum-dums. Restored my faith in humanity. Why don't you? Anyway, what do our 2 nearly new besties, rich besties, do with all that money? If you guessed, buy the dumbest stuff imaginable. Congratulations, you've watched way too much SpongeBob. And you're also correct, just like me.
Wasn't that incredible, Patrick? I mean, with all this money, we could have bought anything in the whole world.
A lifetime supply of strawberries, naturally. Anyway, SpongeBob soon starts getting pretty famous as the money guy who's stupidly generous with his cash, Mr. B.
Do you need some too, Bert?
Okay.
Oh, you want to buy some ice cream?
No, I'm allergic. I'll be your best friend.
It's a deal.
And it's from this point on that SpongeBob glows the actual frick up. This transformation was flaming. First peep SpongeBob's pineapple, or should I say pine mansion. This is is some Great Gatsby level opulence. Scratch that, actually. This entire scene is so Great Gatsby coded. There's your adopted bestie who's in way over his head.
Yes? I'm here to see SpongeBob. And are you on the guest list, sir?
There's your socialites who definitely do not hunt people for sport on the weekends.
SpongeBob!
Hey, pal, watch it. I could buy and sell you.
And of course, the main man himself. SpongeBob, or should I say Jay Spatsby. I know the pun is terrible. I don't care, I'm keeping it in, because SpongeBob looks like freshly minted money. His suit is spliffic. The shoes pair perfectly, swapping the regular bow tie for the ascot. Brilliant choice. Even his skin looks expensive. How the frick do you do that? Like, he's been drinking lots of alkaline water, minding his own business, sticking to a skincare routine the Kardashians would go to war for. And that cane. Oh. I don't think you guys understand. If you're not really that old, I think SpongeBob's just like a normal, like, 40-year-old adult. How old is he? Yeah, like 38. If you don't need the cane, but you rock a cane, it's the aura to the max. This is just peak SpongeBob, guys. Like, peak. Like, how many times can I say the word peak before it pisses both you and me off? Probably once.
Patrick, do you hear that? That is the sound of love.
Speaking of love, we're now at the iconic SpongeBob glow-up moment, and you guessed it, it's from Band Geeks. I mean, we can all recite this episode line by line at this point, right? No, just kidding. Not really. Anyway, when the episode starts off, Squilliam Fancyson, Squidward's arch rival and a human embodiment of insufferable, goads Squidward into starting a band. And because Squiddy's way too easy to rage bait, he takes it hook, line, and sinker, completely forgetting that he has zero band, zero plan, zero hairline, zero time.
How many of you have played musical instruments before?
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
Is mayonnaise an instrument? Classic.
Fortunately, I have enough talent for all of you.
No, you don't. You don't even have enough talent for yourself, buddy.
Maybe we should play so quietly no one can hear us.
Okay, now I actually feel bad for poor Squidward. He might be the living embodiment of sad and pathetic, but he's our living embodiment of sad and pathetic. I relate to him on a personal level now that I'm an adult. Squilliam, on the other hand, makes my blood boil. Unfortunately, talent doesn't really care about morality, and this is what the Band Geeks have devolved into.
Well, these claws ain't for just attracting mates.
Bring it on!
No, people.
Oh, so now the talking cheese is gonna preach to us.
The whole disaster is too much for Squidward, who proceeds to have a full-on meltdown. Can't really blame the guy. I mean, it's a full show with a drooped head, the waterworks, the whole performance. This moves SpongeBob so deeply, he makes a speech. And whenever SpongeBob makes a speech, you better sit down and pay attention.
When your little Jimmy was trapped in a fire, who rescued him?
A fireman?
So if we all could just pretend that Squidward was a fireman.
So they go back to rehearsing, and on D-Day, when Squilliam comes to gloat, Squidward gets a pleasant surprise.
Where's your band? They couldn't come. That would be my band! This is exactly how I pictured your band would look.
I don't know what Squilliam's talking about. This look is fire. It's simple. It's classic. It's ignore whatever SpongeBob is doing, please. The glow up, okay? The glow up, though, comes during the performance. Bro, my jaw will never not drop when I get to this scene. Obviously, we can't play the clip for copyright reasons, but even from the B-roll, you can see that SpongeBob is eating. Make that devouring, actually, this performance. This right here is why I became a SpongeBob fan. Top tier episode, top tier glow up, top tier fracking everything. Do I even need to do a drum roll before I reveal our winner for biggest glow up in all Bikini Bottom? I mean, tell me you didn't know it was going to be Squidward, because then I know you clicked on the wrong video. And we all know which glow up takes the crown.
Time for your medicine, mister. Handsome.
We all do, but I am a YouTuber. So before that one, let's talk about a lesser known glow up that actually comes very close to the iconic Squidward glow up. Now, before you come for me in the comments, I'm not talking about the episode itself. I'm only talking about the glow up itself, and it's only lesser known because it comes from season 15, a certified SpongeBob season.
Why must every 11 minutes of my life be filled with misery?
Before you bring out the pitchforks, hear me out. Okay, this is Lady Mildred Upturn the 333rd. She is filthy rich, as you can tell from her permanent scowl, and she's currently looking for a new money laundering opportunity. Sorry, I meant art. She's looking to invest in some art, but nothing something's meeting her unnecessarily bougie tastes.
Surely there's something here you'll enjoy?
No, I'm afraid not.
When she gets to Jellyfish Field, she meets Squidward, playing his destructive cacophony.
I shall remove your person from this cacophony at once.
That is the most interesting and avant-garde music. Oh, it is sublime.
This woman definitely has something lodged in her ears, or this is some hidden camera prank show or something, because there's just no way. Well, I guess it wasn't a prank and Squiddy is really going to be a star. Anyway, with Lady Upturn now his patron, Squidward moves into her mansion and begins the glam life that Hollywood stars dream about.
Welcome to your new home, Mr. Tentacles.
Oh my, it's incredible.
So this is where the glow up really begins. Of course, his clarinet playing remains pure, unadulterated trash, but the looks, the serves, the aura, to die for. Bro, Squiddy's eating and leaving 0 crumbs. From the eccentric entertainer to the tortured artist to the chic regal robe and crown, category is rich artist who doesn't give a what, and Squiddy is dominating. He's not even done. Look, say what you want about his personality and all, but when it comes to Squidward and glow-ups, the bar isn't just up there. He is the bar. Just take a look at that final fit where he burst into the Krusty K, and it's not just that the fit screams style down to the shoes that he has no business pulling off, but somehow he does it effortlessly. It's also the strut, the tude, the biatch energy, if you will. I mean, why have stupid money if you want to also be stupid rude? How does that even make any sense? In the immortal words of a diva king,
Being an artist requires having an artist's temperament.
that's what I'm saying. Squidward understood the assignment and served looks that got him a solid 10 from me. Across every single board in existence. This episode might be aggressively fracking garbage, and of course Squidward blows it in the end because duh. But now, the moment you've been waiting for, the ultimate glow up in SpongeBob SquarePants, maybe even in cartoon history itself. Handsome Squidward.
That's right. I used to be sick of everything, but I'm not sick anymore.
Handsome Squidward, let's get this straight, viewers, is not just a mere glow up, okay? He's the fracking blueprint. Dare I say he's not even the blueprint because you can't even hope to replicate it. It is perfection. So amazing to the point that it breaks the cartoon reality barrier, becomes a cultural reset for all humanity. I'm not exaggerating. 29 million views on a video turning Will Smith into Handsome Squidward. It's not even the only one. Cartoons should not be able to do that, but Handsome Squidward did. We literally got actual human beings trying to get surgeries to look like Squidward. I'm talking real life Hollywood celebrities altering their faces permanently to look like cartoon octopuses. I say that plurally, but it's really just the one. Okay, fine. The Weeknd didn't surgically alter his face to look like Handsome Squidward. It's just an uncanny resemblance. Honestly, if he had automatic glow up, but anyway, no one dead or alive is ever getting over this legendary glow up of Squidward's. Let's recap.
Remind me to fire my therapist.
SpongeBob and Patrick are terrorizing Squidward. Shocker, and Squidward has had it. Double shocker. Then comes the legendary door hit that changed everything.
You know what I'm gonna do?
The hospital, Squidward gets reconstructive surgery, and the octopus that comes out of the other side of that treatment is handsome, to say the least. Of course, first things first, right? Squidward's got to strut his stuff around Bikini Bottom and make civilians pass out from his beauty, which he does.
So handsome!
Handsome?
Personally, I didn't think this version was that handsome. Maybe it was the nose, or maybe it was the eyes. I don't know. He's just looked pretty Squidwardy to me. But clearly I'm wrong, because Bikini Bottom went absolutely feral for this look.
SpongeBob, earlier today my spine was hurting.
Being a star is exhausting. You got legions of fans everywhere. It's so hard being so beautiful. But look at this man. Reel it in. Squidward is just powering through all this like a champion. Bravo, my good man.
I want his shirt! I want his eyelids!
I guess I kept them waiting a little too long.
Eventually, though, Squidward starts realizing the life of the rich and famous isn't all it's cracked up to be.
Hi, handsome.
Handsome!
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 Ah,
Obviously, since a door hit got him there, a door hit's gonna have to get them out. The SpongeBob and Squidward race down to the Krusty Krab to reenact the accident, but of course Krabs misunderstands the situation and thinks Squidward has brought him more customers.
For a small fee of $14.98 per person, everyone will get the opportunity to touch Squidward.
Meanwhile, our boys are still trying to unhandsome Squidward.
Okay, let me just memorize it. No!
Multiple wax later. Sorry, I can't do the Tom Kenny French narrator thing. You're just gonna have to use your imagination. Point is, SpongeBob and Squidward's plan backfires spectacularly.
Squidward, you're even more handsome now!
I need you to look at this absolute specimen of a Squidward octopus. This isn't just handsome anymore. This is a Greek statue brought to life. That frame, that those chiseled features. Sure, he almost looks like a Giga Chad, but he still cuts it close enough to not look like a douchebag. This is the glow-up that broke the internet.
Squidward! Look out for that falling shoe!
Of course I wasn't gonna miss the dance scene, because even that was a glow. Look, even if you don't believe in religion, I dare you to watch that scene and not come back believing in a higher power.
SpongeBob.
Sure, he goes back to his normal dorky self, but when Squidward was frackin' he stood on business. Screw the script. He sits undefeated as the best glow-up in all of Neptune's seas. No one's ever topping it, ever. Whether you agreed with my rankings or you're just about to roast me in the comments, you gotta admit, we had mad fun with this one. Just like you'll have fun when you click and watch this video on your screen right now. Go on, click it! Mamma mia, sorry. As always, guys, thank you for watching.